Okay, today we're going to talk about multiplying two-digit by two-digit numbers using a strategy called multiplication wrestling. Like I said, you can only multiply two-digit by two-digit numbers with this strategy. So, for example, I have the number 37 times 94. I have to find the product. Now, some people usually go the long way, multiplying the traditional way, but this is a little easier for you if you don't want to try the long way, multiplying the long way. So, first of all, I put both of the numbers, 37 and 94, into expanded notation. So, 37 is 30 plus 7, and I put parentheses around it, times, and 94 is 90 plus 4. Okay, so now that I've broken both of them into, expanded form, now I can start multiplying. But I use what I call the FOIL method. The FOIL method was what people use in high school to multiply equations, but you can use it this time with multiplication wrestling. And what is meant by the FOIL method are the letters F, O, I, L. The letter F means first. The letter O means outer. The letter I means inner. And the letter L means last. So now that tells me the order in which I need to multiply. I also like to put down here just a little place value chart, and I explain my place value chart to you when I get to that point. What I have in the thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. Now let me erase that part right there. Okay, so now it tells me the order in which I need to multiply, my FOIL method. So I multiply the first two numbers. So these two are the first numbers, 30 times 90. Now, I can easily multiply this by covering up the zeros, and I get 3 times 9. 3 times 9 is 27. And then since there are two zeros that I uncovered, I put the two zeros back at the end. So that gives me 2,700. The next thing I want to do is 2,000. I can put it down inside my place value chart. 2,700. Now, the next one I do is I multiply the outer numbers. The two outer numbers are 30 times 4. Okay, and I cover up my zeros, and I get 3 times 4 is 12, and then I uncovered 1 0, so that's 120. I notice my 1 is in my hundreds place, so I put it down here, and my 2 is in my tens place, and my 0 is in my ones place. The next one, I multiply the two inner numbers. My two inner numbers are 7 times 90. I cover up my 0. That gives me 7 times 9 equals 63, and I put 1 0 behind it. And then I put my 630 in here. I notice that my 6 is in the hundreds place, 630. Then I multiply my two last numbers. The last numbers in the equation are 7 and 4. So 7 times 4 equals 28. My 2 is in my tens place, so I put my 2 in my tens place. My 8 is in my ones place. Now, I go down here. Remember I told you that I use my place value chart in order to help line up my numbers? It's very important that you not line up your numbers correctly because you have to add them. If your numbers are not in the correct place value spot, then your product for 37 times 94 is going to be incorrect. So now I can now add all of the digits. So down here, that's 8. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 2 more is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 6 more is 14. And 1 plus 2 is 3. So now, my product, the 37 times 94, is 3,478. Now, this is one strategy, multiplication wrestling. Let me go over it again. You can only use it if you're multiplying two-digit by two-digit numbers. And you must remember the order in which to multiply. If you need to write the letters FOIL on the side of your paper, I think that would help you. Remember, the letter F stands for first. The letter O stands for outer. The letter I stands for inner. The letter L stands for last. When you're saying first, you're multiplying the first two numbers. When you're saying outer, it's the first number and the last number. When you're saying inner, it's the two numbers that are inside, these two. When you're saying last, it's both the last numbers and each expanded form. Remember, you don't necessarily have to put a place value chart down the bottom, but I like to use it to make sure that I've lined up my numbers correctly. And if your numbers are lined up correctly, you're going to have the correct product. If not, then your product is going to be wrong. So if you find that you have a problem with making sure your numbers are lined up, then you might want to put the place value chart and fill it in for each problem. So that's my strategy on how to multiply 2-digit by 2-digit numbers, multiplication wrestling. Thank you.